Hello, welcome to a very special beer review because this one is dedicated to Strat Beer, who's recently passed away. And the beer I've got is a big seller of a beer, actually. This beer is highly rated on Rate Beer. I think for the overall it got 88, and for the style it got 98. So it's highly regarded. I know some people who are not too keen on it, um, but everybody's different. So we're going to Belgium, and we're going to the village of Hoegaarden, which is the beer Hoegaarden. And here we are, boys and girls. Hoegaarden Wit Blanche, which is white beer, coming in at 4.9% ABV. Lovely jubbly. There's the back side. Now this is, I think it's fermented in the bottle as well, because it's very cloudy looking beer. So I've done a bit of research on this, because I know there's quite a few beer reviewers who have done Hoegaarden recently. It's owned by AB InBev, and that came about in I think it was in 1985. Before that, it was founded in 1445, so a little bit earlier, in a village called Hoegaarden in Flanders, and it was regarded as the birthplace of Belgian white beer. Now the village had been known for white beer since the Middle Ages. I'm just reading off there if you see my eyes drift off. There was 13 breweries and 9 distilleries, and in 1957 the last wit beer or white beer brewery, Thompson, in the village shut. And 10 years later, a milkman called Pierre Kellis, murder me in the comments if I got that completely wrong, who grew up next to the brewery, revived the style by brewing it in his hayloft. Then he expanded it to a former lemonade factory in the area. And in 1985 there was a big fire. And of course, I think it's a Belgian tradition for other breweries to help out if a brewery goes down because of fire or whatever. And of course, one of the people who came in, one of the breweries that came in to help Hoegaarden at the time, was a company called Interbrew. Now Interbrew is now known as AB InBev, which is a big concern in the world of beer. Look it up on Google, find out for yourselves. So over time though, because of them rescuing the brewery, they kind of like made a big influence on the way the beer was brewed and on the way the beer was distributed as well. And obviously it wasn't to this fella Pierre Kellis's liking, because he sold his stake in it. And then the unthinkable happened, that InBev were going to transfer all the brewing away from Hoegaarden. Bit like what I did to you, bit like what happens to like Newcastle Brown Ale, didn't they? They transferred that away from Newcastle, and but in this scenario, there was a big uproar about it apparently, and instead AB InBev invested 60 million euros, and apparently it's customarily to drink this beer with lemon. So I could only get hold of this beer in 4-pack or in a big bottle. I ended up going for the 4-pack. I gave the other 2 bottles away out of good faith. So let's crack her open like we do. Cool, she's come alive there. Whew. Plenty of carbonation just whiffed off there. There is a really nice little Hoegaarden crown. There you go, boys and girls. Let's see what we get from the slight whiff of orange peel there. But you're getting bananas. You're getting Swaves of bananas coming up through the neck. A little bit of a biscuit note there, but not much else. But predominantly bananas. So let's whack her in the glass like we do. And she's coming out quite a pale limestone chalky colour, as you can see there. I'll say it's more like chalky colour. I've got another bottle here. You can see that, boys and girls, it's quite a pale glow on it. It looks more darker actually on the screen, but believe you me, that is quite a very milky pale glow to it. But I've got another bottle there, so I'm going to whack her in as well. Make a proper drink out of it, like you do. So let's top her up in a minute. It's going down quite nicely. Nice, so just dissipating down there, as you can see. And this was one of the first Belgian beers I ever had, and this beer you can get anywhere. And I'm talking anywhere. You can get it from Tesco's, Aldi. I think Aldi did it at a point, Sainsbury's. It's widely available. It's a bit like Lef, you know, it's an AB InBev beer. It's going to be available everywhere, you know. So let's top her up, make a pint out of her. And there she goes. So I'm going to make a toast to Strat beer, and wherever you are, mate, whatever you're doing, hope you're knocking back a few. So cheers. I'm going to go in. There's an orange peel there, maybe a hint of coriander, not much coming through. It's quite subtle in its flavours. I mean, the nose from the glass is more orange than banana for me. It's quite subtle and very easy drinking, this beer. I'm having this at room temperature. I prefer to have my beers at room temperature. For me, it brings out all the flavour. Sometimes the cold does kill the beer a little bit, but for me, this is very light, very refreshing beer. Food pairing wise, I've always said this about this beer, is salad is the best type of food to have with this. Because for me, it's not a big taster of a beer. It's very subtle, mouthfeel quite smooth, a little bit gas to it. I'm whiffing up them that orange rind, but it's okay. I can see why people wouldn't like this. If you got a palate, which my palate is very much used to big taste notes, you know, like a big IPA. And say if you were going to go and drink a load of different beers, if you had, you know, say you had some IPAs and you had some Hoegaarden, and say you drank the IPAs first, then went to the Hoegaarden, and the Hoegaarden, you wouldn't really think much of it. If you have the Hoegaarden first and you haven't drunk any of the stronger beers, I tend to appreciate this beer more doing it that way. But I can see why it's still popular. It's just a great beer. So, boys and girls, thanks for watching this review. Hoegaarden Wit Blanche. Highly recommend that one. If you haven't had it, highly recommend you to try it. I wouldn't recommend you to have anything like a big tasting beer with it. I would say to you to try and have it on its own. It's a nice subtle Belgian wheat beer. and it's one to really enjoy. I'm just saying it's non-filtered, it's naturally cloudy as well. It says on the label there. So thanks for watching this review. Please subscribe, and I'll see you boys and girls on my next one. So cheers.